Hey all, here OS Reviews. In this video, we are exploring the Seed Studio reTerminal E1003, which is, as the name implies, a 10.3-inch e-ink display, and what makes this rather unique is it's kind of like an open source DIY enthusiast type product. It's actually using an ESP32 microprocessor. You can think of it as a slightly more advanced version of something like Arduino Uno's, and you're able to program it the way that you would want to, push over snippets of code, create your own dashboards if you want to use it like a digital calendar showing you different notifications at a glance, and the microcontroller has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, allowing it to synchronize information like time and date and fetch some basic internet-related data, such as stock information, automatically. And also, if you're not necessarily a coder or programmer, they also have preset templates that you're able to use through their companion web app. You can just push over at a single click onto this e-ink display, kind of like a smart home hub in the vein of a Alexa or Google Nest Hub device, except it's a little bit more minimalistic and also customizable based on the way you want to use it. Again, it's the same display technology type that we have seen on Kindles and e-readers for a long time, but it seems like finally e-ink technology is getting its moment in the sun, figuratively speaking. Over the past year or two, we've seen it blossom into more and more types of consumer tech products finally, including even phone cases where you can push over an image, and some of the benefits of e-ink screens include sunlight readability. The brighter it is around you, the easier it is to make out since there is no backlight required, behaving very similar to a piece of paper, printed text. We've also seen other types of even smaller phone-like e-readers, not to mention even smartwatches like the Watchy, which is another ESP32 based e-ink watch, just to serve as a couple of other examples. So it's great to see a little bit more of a mass adoption. Now we have it trickling down into these type of home assistant displays, kind of looking like a smart digital photo frame as well, but of course you're able to do more than just show images. That said, if you wanted to do so, you can obviously push over an image as well. And one last benefit of e-ink is it doesn't draw any power until the pixels are being refreshed. In other words, it's able to sit persistently on a static image like this without drawing any power once it's being pushed over, which is pretty cool. Particularly in the case of this version, the E1003, it's actually coming with a 3000 milliamp hour capacity battery inside, which on a full charge can last you as long as 3 to 6 months of use before you need to recharge it again. That is going to be one such benefit compared to some of their previous generation models, which were technically powered by a Raspberry Pi. Yes, the CPU is a little bit more powerful, however, those required the unit to be always plugged in, draining a little bit more juice because of the microprocessor not being quite as power efficient, and there's no built-in battery on those other units, but might be suitable for other projects which require you to always refresh the screen 24/7 at a faster frequency. Compared to this is designed to be more occasionally changing the status every couple of minutes, for example, or even once a day. For a slightly slower pace, that's where the power efficiency here is going to be a benefit. Now we also have access to a standard USB Type-C to Type-A power adapter cable, as well as what looks like a 3D printed stand, including a screwdriver tool is also included that you can pop in there, going with the whole DIY enthusiast vibe. Now, hardware-wise, this 10.3-inch panel, it is a monochrome black and white e-ink screen, but there are color versions if you want color e-ink instead, although typically black and white e-ink still has better contrast if you're looking at just text details. There's also a micro SD card slot located on the back as well if you need to expand on the built-in storage, and you can just scan the QR code to open up the link in any browser. It is a web app for configuring and setting things up. In fact, like many DIY type products, they have a fairly extensive documentation available, including a wiki page taking you step by step on how to set it up. Again, really designed for tinkering and building. Resolution of the screen is also very sharp at 404 by 1872. Nearly full HD res. Now, by the way, you can also find this in other sizes as well. So if you find 10.3 inches to be a little large, you want a more compact desk size unit, they also have a 7-inch version that you can pick between as well. And also some optional accessories, including a aluminum frame that you can use to pop it into for a more conventional photo frame-like aesthetic, or you can use it as is, having more of this bezel-less, slightly more modern look going on. So we'll transition into taking a closer look at some of the different dashboards and interfaces that you can push over to the reTerminal. But again, some examples include your calendar, showing clock, weather, reminders, so on and so forth. So here is the optional frame accessory that you can pick up. And finally, the frame itself, which does feel very high quality since it is crafted out of metal instead of being plastic or anything like that. It has a nice density to it. But yes, as indicated by the sticker, it is pretty sharp on some of the edges, so just be a little careful there. I feel like they could maybe round it off a little bit more, although it does have a pretty nice aesthetic going on. In fact, the metal even has some grain finishing, which is trying to simulate wood, as you can tell there, but it is cold metal, feeling quite solid to the touch. Basically removing the screws on the side of the frame, and afterwards you can then slide it in and then pop on the screw again. Also, by the way, the frame comes with its own little kickstand that you can use to prop it up, since the frame of course will add a little bit more height as well as weight to ensure that it stands up correctly. So you would simply snap this onto the back of the reTerminal on a position that looks something like this. Or if you're using it as is, because it's lighter, you can just couple it with a smaller 3D printed stand that snaps into this bottom section here instead, using this one included screw. So you can pick and choose. So before we snap those pieces in, just a quick look at the hardware, the core section. We have the aforementioned I/O, including micro SD, a dedicated power switch, so you can actually completely turn it off to drain even less power during storage, as well as USB Type-C here. Now there are additional mounting brackets on the rear, so you can technically pop it onto a wall, like a monitor or TV. You don't necessarily have to place it into the frame that's used in the kickstand mode for instead popping onto a table. Again, pretty customizable. The entire chassis, by the way, is crafted out of aluminum metal. There are no plastic pieces here, having a surprising density and heft to it, feeling rather premium. On the very top, there's also going to be a couple of keys that you're able to use to cycle through some of the dashboards that you push over into the unit's memory. There's also a mono beep or alarm chime speaker on here as well, with some modular pin connectors for the microcontroller that rounds out the I/O, remaining cool passively during use, and again contributing to the longer battery life. It's also a touchscreen panel as well, so depending on the mode that you're using the dashboard in, you can interact with the screen directly or rely on the physical keys on the top there. So we've turned it on, and as part of initial setup, we can scan the QR code using our phone or open this IP address on the browser, kicking off the configuration. Now, 3 things I will say about the screen in terms of first impressions. It is very sharp. Text details have very few jagged lines, as you can tell here, so legibility is not going to be a problem here at all. It does look like a pretty high quality display they've chosen that also supposedly has pretty low refresh rate for a e-ink display at it. The second thing I will say though is they have gone with a glossy glass covering on the screen, which I would have preferred if there was a matte screen protector instead, since that would maybe reduce glare even more, like on some e-readers out there, but it is what it is. Maybe it's an accessory you can pick up yourself later on. And the third point is, we talked about how e-ink screens are visible the more light that you shine down on it. So under similar situations compared to an LCD or OLED screen, you can tell it washes out less while drawing less power, placing it in the office or kitchen. That being said, there is no front light of any kind on here that's sandwiched in between, so if you are in complete darkness, you'll still need a little bit of ambient light to make out the display. There's just a small sliver on the very top here for the antennas of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Also, I like that pop of green for the top button here as well, just giving it a little bit more personality, rather nicely designed. So following the instructions here, let's tap to connect to the reTerminal under Wi-Fi settings here first. Afterwards, connecting the reTerminal to your home Wi-Fi so it's able to stay connected. And now it's telling us to visit this website, aka their web UI, to begin pushing over different dashboards, and you can see community members creating other examples of what they've done with their display, including to-do list, world clocks that you can leverage and also push over to yours if you like it as part of the community, and other examples including wall art that can cycle between automatically, weather dashboard, so on and so forth. Plenty of examples, and even if you wanted to use it for commercial purposes, like a small business restaurant, you can use it to display menu information as well, as you can see there, wall-mounted art, growing, of course, as the community also further expands as well. So from here, we can tab to add our device, and for the first time will require us to create an account and log in. Either setting up from scratch or directly signing in with GitHub is another option as well. And then we're going to tap to add a device. We're able to rename it as well as enter the pairing code that's shown on the terminal. Afterwards, we can see the status is currently online, the battery percentage is 88%, and there will be occasional firmware updates available as well. Something I will say though is for their web app, just a link in the browser, maybe it is a little easier to navigate using a desktop computer with a larger screen. You can flip your mobile device around and see a little bit more information on the top this way, just as an observation. So maybe if they further optimize the mobile version of their site, that could be great to see at some point. Now you can also access a low power mode, which will change the refresh interval into a specific duration that you can set, like once every 30 minutes if you don't want it to be always online 24/7, to further increase the battery life even more. Now from here, we're able to add pages, which are basically the dashboards that you're able to build. So for example, we can click here. You can either import it from a URL, start a new design from scratch, or even select a simple image like a JPEG, PNG, GIF to send over as well. So with images, for example, if we just use it like a digital photo frame, you're able to just upload them over and also further do some basic editing in terms of trimming, changing the orientation, for example, from vertical versus horizontal, and accessing some other modes if you have the color version of the e-ink device. So in this initial test, we just tap on apply. And yeah, it does look actually quite good, I would say. Again, from the perspective of legibility, clarity, all seems to be rather satisfactory on this e-ink panel overall, almost giving it kind of like a faded film-like look. And here we have the next image also pushed over, as you can tell here, of a cherry blossom, also looking quite good. So each time that the entire panel refreshes, it gets rid of some of the ghosting and artifacting, and then we have a clearer image that's going to show up afterward. So yeah, if you wanted to use it like an e-ink digital photo frame, you absolutely could, but it is going to be one of the more lightweight applications of what you can do on something like this. And in fact, for easier demonstration, we're going to switch over to a tablet with a larger screen to work with here, just to see the components a little bit better. But yeah, I can choose things like a QR code, barcode, and you're able to just freely rearrange them, drag them around on the display, change the font size here as well. Again, you're able to just create your own dashboard as well as interface and then push it over onto the display. A couple of other examples here include a calendar. You can see it here. You can also change some presets here, including how the lines are going to be displayed, as well as the configuration for the city that you're in, what day of the week it starts on, so on and so forth, with some additional redo and delete options on the very top that you can access as well. So yeah, you definitely have the ability to create lots of these different components, stack them on top of different sections, and separating them out, of course, to drag into different areas of the screen. Rather flexible, but let's say I like some of the examples that we saw there earlier from their homepage or forum. You can then just click here to add onto one of your pages, copying the style that we see there, as well as a quick description. So you can publish this so that other people can reference it, and sharing your creations if desired, which is quite flexible. We can also choose a couple more here just to serve as examples, like this one, which is rather cute in this cartoonish font. And yes, if you want to integrate with other services, including your to-do list, Google Calendar, you can sign in with your API key, and it will sync over the data from your account. With that being said, because of the ESP32 microcontroller not having the greatest amount of built-in memory, aka storage as well as RAM, it can pretty much hold one dashboard at a time instead of the storage by default, unless you augment it yourself. Which means out of the box, every time you push over a new dashboard, the previous ones will pretty much be overwritten, although you could fiddle around with inserting your own micro SD card and expanding on the storage that way. And so from here, some final features that you can access include a image dithering. So basically what that means is, because we are looking at a monochrome version of the e-ink screen, if you're trying to convert a color image, ensuring that it will look the best on this type of e-ink panel. So you can import your custom images, kind of format it using this section before pushing it over. Interestingly, there's also AI Gen, or a large language model image generator section as well. Now again, it really isn't anything different compared to just using ChatGPT or Gemini yourself and then uploading it yourself, but it's also built directly into their main dashboard now. You can describe what type of image you want to generate. It can create a photo and then push it over onto the frame as well. And then really the final sections down below here are for documentation. You can find a more exhaustive Wikipedia-like page, again, for going through how to set things up, create different widgets, access them, what features were released through newer subsequent updates, essentially a more comprehensive walkthrough of all the different features that we saw there from before, so on and so forth. So relatively, again, easy to set up, and you can, of course, integrate other, again, widgets, RSS feeds if you want to use it as a ticker display for updating information like subscriber count on social media, view count, stock price information, or some other examples. Whatever information is most useful to you at a glance on the desk can be set up. Alright, so that is more or less it as far as our hands-on look at the reTerminal. This is the E1003, aka the 10.3-inch variant that we've looked at here. And these terminal-based e-ink displays are an interesting alternative to the more polished, lockdown versions often sold by brands like Google as well as Amazon. This gives you a little bit more flexibility to tinker around with it, creating different use cases as well as different dashboards that you like to see yourself. All of your previous creations are also saved to your account for you to then reference and then change out again, kind of like watch dials on a smartwatch. And then again, using the relatively low energy chip, it can just refresh data at certain interval for changing the time, weather information, so on and so forth. So a pretty simple premise, but it's all wrapped in a relatively elegant and sharp looking ePaper e-ink display that can be mounted in different ways, making it a pretty interesting desk gadget or companion display to fiddle around with. That being said, again, if you want everything to be 100% polished and having the most capabilities, including a built-in microphone, being able to talk back and forth and listen to music, obviously some of those features are not going to be available on a device like this, which is still more centered around minimalism, as well as giving you basic stats at a glance, using very minimal power at the same time, taking advantage of this e-ink screen technology. So if you come in with the right expectations and expect to, again, work out some of the quirks, you're excited by the idea of building out your own dashboard. That's really where this is going to be designed for, versus the majority of consumer tech products being more locked down, everything being already done out of the box. But overall, I think it's pretty cool and a great example of yet another type of e-ink display product making it into the home. You can check out more details if you're interested as well in the links down below. Again, they have different size screen versions, color versus black and white e-ink, so many of those specs can also be customized, even though this particular one as configured is the 10.3-inch monochrome version. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.